Hey, good morning guys. Welcome back to Heiko Shaves. Today we are going to do another comparison shave, and this one is going to be geared a little bit more towards the newcomer to safety razors, or someone who just wanted to leave the system razor market or wanted to get away from cartridge razors because they're really expensive, right? If you have, let's say, a Gillette system razor of some sort of description, you will quickly realize that the initial package that contains your handle and maybe 3-4 blades is rather inexpensive, but then once you have to actually buy the replacement cartridges, they're gonna, they're gonna really rip you off. And so those cartridges, they don't last very long. They don't usually give you a really great result shaving. Of course, you can always do multi-pass with everything and get a good result out of it, but primarily they're really expensive. And a lot of people also have a problem with just creating so much plastic waste that just goes into the landfill, and they want to go to a razor that, first of all, is in the long run cheaper, but also uses less material to maintain. So what I'm talking about is if you would go to a single-edged razor that kind of mimics the mode of operation and the way of shaving as if you're still using a cartridge razor. And the two that I want to compare today, we have already had here on this program many a times. I mean, at least one of them. Let's introduce the one that I have not had on the channel very often, which is the Proof Whiskey razor. This one here. It actually has a little mount that I mounted on my mirror frame here, which then just hangs next to my mirror. So it's really convenient. If you just have this one Proof Whiskey razor and you don't collect razors like I do, you can just hang that on your mirror or somewhere on your medicine cabinet in your bathroom, and you are set. It sits there, it hangs there, comes with that little mount, and it also comes with, I should have pulled it out before I started recording, this little thing. This is real leather, and this is a really well made, embossed here, Proof single blade. Has this little tie leather strap here. Let's open this up. Here this says made in Montana. So they are very patriotic towards their state. Montana is where the Proof Whiskey razor is made. And this is a travel pouch, and this is really full grain leather. It smells amazing. And in here, they also sent me some razor blades. The cool thing about the Proof razor is that you don't have to buy any proprietary blades. Just recently we looked into injector razors, and injector razors always use proprietary blades that come in a type of magazine or injector. And those blades really only work in injector razors, and you cannot use any other blade in those either. So you always have to find the proprietary injector blades. And since the injector razor market has gotten pretty small, you really only have a few manufacturers left. It's kind of getting more expensive to find injector razor blades, or they are made overseas and you don't get the brand that you like anymore. So Parker is still around, Supply is still around. There's still some Japanese-made injector razor blades. Even Persona still makes injector razor blades, but they are rather pricey. And here for this one, you can either use, this here is now Leaf branded, but these are half double-edged safety razor blades. So let me take one out. We're going to need it anyways. These blades are already made so that it's literally exactly half of a DE safety razor blade. So we're just gonna undo this here, paper wrapper, so you guys get an idea what those look like. Don't cut your fingers. So this is exactly half of a DE blade. Here's a DE blade, a used one. So literally half of that. You can also just take a regular safety razor blade. Let's do a Wilkinson sword here, if I can get it out of the packaging. So now you have a still packaged regular DE blade, and you bend them over and just snap them in half. And now this half blade will fit into this Proof razor. So that is really the advantage. You can buy any brand of DE safety razor blade, snap them in half, and they will fit in here. That's great, because those blades are plentiful, they're cheap. I mean, we're talking about a few cents per blade. And then each package now contains 2. So you can shave 5, 6, 7 shaves with 1/2 and then swap it over for the second half and you get another 5, 6, 7 shaves out of it. So this is amazing. You only need this one thing, and this is made out of aluminum. It's anodized to make it corrosion resistant. They advertise that it really will not corrode. It will last a very long time. There is a little bit of a mechanism in here which contains a little stainless steel spring and a pin. So it even gives you this typical system razor flex head kind of deal. So you don't really have to find the perfect angle. You just push it against your face, just like you would do that with a system razor or a cartridge razor. Yeah, the only cartridge razor type that I currently have is this plastic thing here, Gillette, of course. And they all have some sort of flex mechanism these days. So it really doesn't matter which brand you buy. They will all have a little bit of advertisement. Oh, it contours, follows the curvature of your skin. And the Proof razor does exactly the same thing. So it's really easy to switch over from a cartridge razor to this. And then, of course, this razor is much more expensive initially. Here, let's just pull up the webpage. So that I can give you the current price. Proof razor. Added value here for you guys. So the Proof razor currently goes for about 120 bucks. Comes with that leather travel pouch and the little mirror mount that has a adhesive backing. Fortunately, it's stuck there. I can't pull it off. But here, how about I just show you an Amazon picture of it? Well, I'll put a picture here or here. Okay, let's do it that way. More professional. Added value for you guys. So for 120 bucks, you get 5 blades, the mirror mount, your razor itself, which is really well made, feels good in the hand. It's relatively lightweight. Let's weigh it real quick. 30 grams. So this is on the lightweight end, but if you're used to stuff like this, you know, and you use stuff like this to shave, this is only 12 grams. I only have this here. I don't use it really. I literally, when I started safety razor shaving or DE shaving or traditional wet shaving, I committed all the way. I have an electric razor sitting here, which is a Philips Norelco, which I nowadays only use to shave the edge of my ears or maybe like in my ears, because when you get older, suddenly hair starts sprouting everywhere. So that's what I use this for. But I haven't touched my face with this thing in almost 2 years now. So safety razor all the way. And this here is really an easy way to switch over. Personally, this is probably one of the easiest to switch over. 120 bucks, you know, it's a steep entry level price to get started. But once you have this thing, the only thing that you need to buy is either regular safety razor blades and you snap them in half, or you can buy single blades, and there are already a bunch of manufacturers that make single edged blades. Derby, Persona, Leaf, you know, you name it. There are probably a few more out there, and they are really inexpensive. That's what I'm saying. So every blade, even if you would shave only once with a blade, you know, if my favorite here, Wilkinson sword blade, Wilkinson sword blade on Amazon. Let's see if we can find the ones that I always use. Yeah, let's just any. So we're talking about 7 cents a blade, and that's a double-edged blade. So you have 3.5 cents per blade for this thing. It doesn't get any cheaper. And we're gonna find out if this really does a good enough job to actually replace your cartridge razor. And the razor that I want to put up against it is another contestant for this single-edge safety razor market, which is heavily used here by Heiko in his bathroom. So this one is really grungy and dirty. This is the Leaf Twig. I also have the Leaf Thorn in rotation here. I use that also a lot. The Thorn is a little bit more aggressive than the Twig. The Twig is really entry level, very mild. This one here in gold color. This is not gold plated, but some sort of gold anodization. They have a bunch of different colors in gunmetal gray and silver and blue and purple and rainbow and whatever color you like. And this thing, current market value, let's look at the Amazon listing for it. The Amazon listing is $44. So significantly cheaper. Leaf is an American company, but all their razors are made in China. So for sure, cheaper level of entry here to the market. And this razor, I like it so much that I use it all the time. It's so beginner friendly and so easy to operate. It doesn't have any flexing parts. There's no spring up there, so it doesn't behave like a cartridge razor. Like the proof kind of emulates really nicely. So if you're coming from a system razor and you're used to pushing this up against your face, the Twig doesn't do that. The Twig is, even though it looks very futuristic and has this bulbous shape and all this up here is very different, and it has a little magnet in there to hold the blade in place while you install this, and this mechanism to open it is much different. It at the end feels a little bit more like a traditional DE razor, because you still have to kind of find your angle, you know, do I go like this or do I go like this? You have to kind of figure this out yourself. But it is very mild, it is very beginner friendly, and unless you really like you are stabbing into your face and like high pressure, I always say let the razor blade do the work. Combine this with a sharp razor blade and you are going to be happy with this. And if you are a total beginner to safety razors, doesn't matter single edge or double edge, start with a mild one. Find a mild one, follow recommendations. I've given so many recommendations over time what I think a beginner should start with. You know, Edwin Jagger DE89, Merkur 34C, the Mühle R89, the Twig, I mean, there's so many. Even some of the adjustables, because they start so nice and mild, like the Rockwell T2 that we just revisited the other day. Very mild in setting 1 or 2. And so you can, as a beginner, safely shave yourself with those without causing too much damage. And then figure out which direction your stubbles are growing. So go with your stubbles, and then you can feel, if I go this way, I feel, okay, I'm going against the grain, this is with the grain. And then on your neck, it might be a different direction. Find in which direction your stubbles are growing, and then start with a single pass with the stubbles. And then if you're not completely irritated yet, and you're not happy with the result, just give it another with the grain pass, and then leave it alone and give that a week, you know? And then eventually you will figure out, okay, how much pressure do I need to do, and what's the right angle for my razor that I bought. And then eventually you will find out, oh, this is not so complicated. And then before you know it, a year later, I can pick up pretty much any razor that is out there. The most aggressive one that at least most people claim it's the most aggressive one is the Mühle R41, this one here. It's kind of a hybrid between open and closed comb, and this thing shaves like you just have a blank a DE blade in your hand. So it's like a straight razor blade with no guard on it. There's no protection. So you just gotta get your pressure and your technique down and your growth direction. And once you have figured this out, it's only going to take a couple weeks and you are going to be a pro in this game. And then you can, you know, next Christmas rolls around and you tell your wife, hey, now I want stainless steel Rex console, or stainless steel Rockwell 6S, or whatever. You want this, you know, boutique quality, heirloom quality razor that you want to own and shave with. But start out with something mild. Get yourself a $44 Leaf Twig, and they always send a few blades with those. You can also buy a stand for this, which I have here. Color matching, all super dusty here. You know, takes up little space on your countertop. Or the proof, like I said, buy the proof and hang it next to your mirror. But today we want to compare those two with each other. Very easy entry to the safety razor market, single edge, both of them. All right, so we already snapped a Wilkinson sword blade in half. And since we just did that, we're just going to use the Wilkinson sword half blades. Let's put the leaf blades away. So Wilkinson sword, one of my favorite blade brands. These ones here are still the German-made ones. I haven't bought any in a while, so I'm not sure if you can still buy the German-made Wilkinson sword blades. If I find an Amazon affiliate link down below. Affiliate means that I get a small commission from Amazon for leading you to a product on their webpage. and doesn't cost you anything extra, but you allow me to buy more shaving gear. So we have one blade in the leaf twig. I didn't even show you, you know, this is added value here again. I know this video is going to be a little longer, but if you have one of those half blades and you open this thing up, there is a little magnet here in the middle. The magnet kind of holds the blade so it doesn't fall out until you have it closed. And then now you can see here and there is a little tab that you have to set the blade onto that aligns it. And you got to make sure that that's the case, or else you might clamp the blade in there crooked and then you cut yourself. But when it looks like this, you just tighten this up, this head comes down and clamps down the blade. And now this is literally in there. This is like a twist to open or any other safety razor. The blade is clamped in there, very well supported. As you can see, here's the close comb guard. There's a lot of opening for lather to go through. Very nice. And now we're going to do the same here on the Proof Whiskey razor made in Montana. So labor prices are more expensive. The guys that started this in Montana, it actually says that here, made in Montana. They had a CNC machining background and they built this up from scratch in, you know, Montana, pretty rural state, very low population. They just wanted to bring this type of industry up there and they made this happen. And now it's for sale in the United States and elsewhere. So this doesn't have any screws or tightening down mechanism. It just has magnets. And these are the rare earth type magnets. They're actually 4 and they are installed so that they really pull tight. Once you have the blade in there, let's grab the blade here out of the package, the second half of my Wilkinson sword. There you go. And I took the cap off and now we're just slapping this blade in there. Same deal, you have to slide it in so that it lines up properly. Yeah. And then once it's in there, you take the top cap and just set it on top. It has a couple little tabs back here that makes sure that this piece falls in place, but once it's in place, the blade is not going to go anywhere. We have 4 days of growth to contend with. Some people have complained that I shave too often and that there's not enough material for the razor to actually have to work. Now I waited specifically for this video to, you know, work up a little bit of some stubbles for you. We're also going to use my scuttle here for the first time this winter. Good feller smile. My goodness, can't speak. Good feller smile. Made in Italy, I believe. Very popular in Europe. So there's products made by those guys all over Europe. You can also buy it here in the States. So all of those products that I show you today, they're all available through Amazon, through all the normal ways. Yeah. So it's really not complicated. My scuttle, as you can see, there is a little cork here. I filled this with hot water so this whole thing is warm. And when I put soap in there, the soap and the lather is going to be warm, and that's nice. I have my sink filled with warm water, and my little emesis basin for my brush is also filled with hot water. And now we're going to use a German shave cream, Speick, as we Germans would say, or Speick. The name after a plant that is like growing in the Alps somewhere that's supposedly in here. It's one of those health cosmetic brands. Speick for men is very health conscious. They look a lot at the ingredients and it's very nice. And it's of course designed so that you can just take it out of the tube and lather it into your face, even rub it in your face and then just shave with it. But we can also just take this tube here, bloop, and just squeeze some into our scuttle because the Speick actually lathers pretty well. Brush-wise, we're going to use the Timeless Razor adjustable shave brush. So this is a 2-piece that has little rubber collets. They give you a whole set of those. And you can open this up, it just unscrews, and then you can take the knot out and put a new knot in there. And maybe you have a collection of knots and you like to switch around, and this makes it happen. This is billet aluminum, machined in Ohio. It's made in the United States, was given to me for free. Just like the leaf razor here and the proof razor. So all the hardware today is provided by companies. Timeless aluminum, feels good, has good heft, it's a good length too. The knot in here, I forgot what it is. I'll put a link down below. They sent me 2 knots to just try out, and like I said, there are black rubber collets that if you open this up, you can just take the whole knot out and replace the collet here. I'll just show you real quick. Doesn't take all that long. So there's a rubber gasket. Here's a little plastic insert. And then this whole knot comes out. And then this rubber insert here can be replaced with one with a different size. And then you can put a different size knot in here. And they give you a whole set of those. All right, and then after you have put your new knot in there, you just tighten it down, and it's waterproof. Water doesn't get into the handle because of all the rubber gasket here and the rubber collet up there, and you just tighten it down. And then this knot is in there, semi-permanently. All right, so we have scuttle filled with Speick cream. My knot doesn't really need to be pre-soaked. I just dip it into water, squeeze most of the water out, and then go into my scuttle. But before we do that, I've already washed my face, so we're just going to grab my pre-shave tube 2.0, which Bill just recently sent to me. He sent me those two different ones, the ice tube and the tube 2.0. PAA, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, they make those. And they have the cube, which is just a soap block that you can use for pre-shave. This is the travel version, the travel size, and this is actually much more expensive than the cube. This is only 2 ounces, and I think the block itself is 8 ounces, so you get less material, but it is much more convenient. It's like a deodorant stick. This one here apparently contains charcoal, that's why it's black, and this has like this exfoliating effect on your skin. So what you're supposed to do, you're getting your face wet, and then you rub on the tube, and then you're supposed to wash your face with it and then rinse it off. We're not going to do this today because I already washed and degreased my face. So we're just going to use it like a traditional pre-shave. And what most of those pre-shave products are, at least a hard type, like here's another one, Sterling pre-shave soap, is literally a type of a soap. So once I have this in my face and I start rubbing with a little bit more water, you can see how this is foaming up. And I could probably almost lather this stuff. And what it's supposed to do is just to soften your stubbles so that the blade has an easier time cutting through it. And in this tube form, it's just very convenient to travel with. You put it in your toiletry bag. You know, it's very small. You can even put it in your carry-on because it's 2 ounces only. It's small size. You know how they get freaked out at airports about your cosmetics and whatnot. All right. At the end, we're going to use the good old-fashioned Thayer's Witch Hazel Water, which is a facial toner, and that kind of calms down the skin. All right. So pre-shave is in my face, and now it's time for a lather. I took the brush with a little bit of water and just went right in here into my scuttle. And now we're just going to lather up the Speick cream. And this is already working really well. You know, first you have the big bubbles, and then the more you agitate this, the finer and finer it will become. And then it turns into the whipped cream consistency. Oh, and both the tube and the ice tube are both mentholated. So I already have the mentholation effect here, the cooling effect in my face, which is kind of contrary to using hot water scuttle. But you know, it wouldn't be a YouTube video with some contradictions. So, and look, this is already getting really nicely creamy in here. The Speick cream, even though you can just smear it in your face and shave immediately, also a very good option for traveling. You can lather this with a brush really well. It's a little heavier to hold with water in it. All right, I'm gonna just scrape off most of it, or else we're gonna sling this all over the place. And now we're gonna just go right in my face, and it's warm. Oh, this is lovely. This Speick is also a very citrusy scented shave cream, which you guys probably know I'm a big fan of. I have the lemon and orange scented shave soaps and creams and stuff. And I like menthol and I like eucalyptus. And I'm making a mess here. Look at this. Oh, it's just Very nice, very nice. And that in conjunction with the menthylation of the Tube 2.0, man, is this nice. The knot that I have in here is a little bit on the softer side. I like usually the knots that have a little bit less loft. So this distance here is the loft. The taller it is, the higher the loft is. If you get shorter knots, they are usually a little stiffer, which I like a little better than the floppy ones. But this one here is just fine. All right, look at that. Got to keep an eye on my camera battery here. Not that we run out of battery juice. So we're going to start with a proof razor on the right. And this is pretty much the closest thing that you can get to what a system razor or cartridge razor would feel like. Let's zoom in a little bit and get started. And you can just, whatever angle you want, it's just going to correct with this little spring mechanism. And it is pretty much impossible to cut yourself with this thing. It's on the mild side. And I will do with the grain up here, right? And then against the grain down here, I just go right down my neck here. If you are absolute total beginner, just do this and then go with the grain on your neck. Whatever direction your stubbles are growing, just follow it. It's a mild razor. You do have a little bit of blade feel, which I like, which gives you a little bit of feedback. Yeah, it's pretty good. To get under your nose this way would be a little difficult because the blade is down here and you have all this material above the blade. But you can just go across the grain a little bit. And since we're using a really sharp blade, it doesn't tug, it doesn't pull on the hair. Yeah. So one side and nicely cleaned up. Oh yeah, don't forget to put your scuttle, your brush, back in your scuttle. If you want this to stay warm, just put your knot right in there and then it kind of gets kept warm by the scuttle itself. All right, so let's do a quick inspection. For the amount of stubbles I had in my face, this is already pretty nice. So with this one pass that I just did, I could totally walk out the house and nobody would think anything of it. Now we're going to grab our twig and we're going to do exactly the same deal on the other side. So I just slap this on my face like this and start shaving. And literally you see what angle this is here. Just a little bit, just convenient position for your hand. And I just go down my face like it's nothing. Here, this is against the grain. And it just keeps going and going and doesn't clog. It uses the same blade. Yeah, it uses the same blade as the Proof Whiskey razor. Left a little bit here. All right, first pass with a twig. I would say this is pretty much identical. So now first impressions, since we're completely comparing them against each other. Since I am shaving with DE razors a lot, this feels more familiar to me now because it's just a stationary thing here. There's nothing flopping or springing. This one here is a little bit more foreign to me because it does this whole adjusting by itself and finding the angle and all that. And this one just doesn't. And this feels more familiar to me. But if you're coming from a cartridge razor, this is probably going to be more familiar to you. price difference, 120 bucks, 44 bucks. But then, you know, made in Montana, small company, you want to support them, leave, pretty big place, I guess, made in China, and they sell this all over the place. You know, they are pretty good with their marketing and supporting YouTubers too. So they sent this out to YouTubers to try out and give their reviews and all that stuff. So both work really, really, really well. I am really happy with the first pass result. And now I just got my fingers wet again. I'm rubbing in the remainder of the lather. I don't wash it off. I use this as the pre-shave for the second pass. And now we're going to take our warm lather here. There's so much here. Look at this. So much that I really have to scrape this off my brush now, or else we're going to make a huge mess here. Oh, I love it. This citrusy scented soap does not cause any irritation on my skin. I've told you guys about this Yuka, Y-U-K-A app that you can get on iOS or Android, which you can use to scan barcodes on cosmetics and food products. And it will tell you that this is a really good soap that doesn't have any toxic chemicals in it. And it's really nice on my skin. I really enjoy this soap, or this cream, I should say. Speick also makes a hard soap, which I'm going to go and get. They also make an aftershave. I'm going to order both of those. And it's available. It's made in Germany, but it's available here in the US, no problem. Amazon, you know. All right, so now we're going to go across the grain pass here with the proof. What I feel, let's rinse it off so it doesn't look that ugly. Because you have such a large slab-sided surface here, it kind of gets stuck on my skin. It rubs a little bit, like there is some friction. You can see it pulls on my face. Whereas with this one here, which behaves more like a DE razor, you only have a very small point of contact. You're not laying this flat on your skin. You're just putting the blade in the guard on your face. It doesn't do that. So that's maybe, you know, also possible that the soap causes that a little bit. Maybe this cream doesn't have as much slickness as some other soaps that you would maybe use. And if you keep it moist, if you keep it wet, it's fine. It's just dragging a little bit more. It's also not a chromed polished surface. It's rather a kind of a dull matte finish, kind of bead blasted looking anodized aluminum. But other than that, if I would have used any other soap, it probably wouldn't have been a problem. So now I'm going with the grain down here just to mix it up a little bit. Look at that. I'm not very good at going across the grain on my neck because, you know, you have this curvature here and it just doesn't shave that well. So I always do either with the grain or against the grain. Yeah. And then upper lip. My stomach is growling. I just had breakfast, so I don't know. Anyhoozle, this is really nice. Like I said, a little bit more draggy when you go over your already, you know, dry looking face, but you just gotta keep it lathered and creamy and fluffy. And now we're gonna switch over to the Twig, and we're gonna ooh, I just dropped my brush right into my sink. Great, Heiko. All right, here we go. Across the grain, guys. So less contact area, less draggy, and it feels a little bit more like a safety razor. And that's a pro for some people and a con for others. So if you're a total novice to all this, then maybe a razor that feels more like a cartridge razor is a little better. So here, with a grain, just like I did on the other side. I like the thickness of the bottom end here. because you see I always hold it like this. Very grippy. It's easy to hold onto. Both of them are really easy to hold onto. Oh my goodness. I don't know, something is not happy, but hey, again, I completely forgot that I brought my morning coffee with me into the bathroom. Winnie the Pooh cup. It's massive. It's like 20 ounces. And I need a few of those in the morning. You see, I have a little nick here. That might have been from me just rubbing around in dry while I was talking about the dragginess. So nothing to worry about. And the result is perfectly acceptable on both sides. The result is more or less comparable. So really both of them are going to give you a really clean result. And it's really up to you what kind of price level you are willing to enter into this, you know, procedure, hobby, whatever you want to call it. Or for you, it's maybe just shaving. So it really depends on how much money you want to spend. 45 bucks for a Chinese-made razor sold by Leaf, or $120 razor made by a small company in Montana. And both of them are producing a very good result. And I now could do a third and a fourth and a fifth pass, and then eventually have razor burn and be all irritated. But this is perfectly fine to walk out the house, even when you're going out for a nice dinner or something like that. And no problems. So both razors are great. I like both of them. And one feels more like a safety razor, the other one more like a cartridge razor. And, you know, both are really good products. All right, let's rinse off. Very nice, very nice. So, face is clean, skin is happy. I didn't overdo it. The result is very good. And the soap performed admirably. The warm lather out of my scuttle is really nice. I really like that in the winter especially. And now we're just going to grab this old-fashioned 1847's Thayer's Natural Remedies. This used to be one of those products where someone would drive around in a covered horse-drawn carriage and go into the city center and then sell their, you know, their wonder medicine and whatnot. So I just dumped some in my hand. It's witch hazel water with a little bit of aloe in it, no alcohol, and it is considered a facial toner, so it sucks your skin together. And if you have tiny little nicks that I just had here, and you put some witch hazel on it, sucks it together, stops bleeding. You don't need to do alum, you don't need to do styptic pencil, you don't need to do any harsh aftershave with alcohol in it. Witch hazel here, very nice. And the nice thing is, it's relatively inexpensive and you get a huge bottle here. How much is this? 12 fluid ounces. 98% natural original ingredients. And yeah, there are some chemically sounding ingredients. You guys can look that up. I'll put links to everything down below. If I can find an affiliate link with Amazon, I will use those. That supports the channel. So, you know, oh, why is he making money with those affiliate links? I like it better than doing affiliate links with a individual brand. Amazon, you can get anything, and I can put any brand up there. So I'm not brand myopic. I'm not promoting one brand over another. I have two really great razors here. I use Wilkinson sword blades, a German soap, a Ohio-made shave brush, and then witch hazel water from Thayer's. And everything are really great products, and I really like using all of this stuff. And, you know, happy face, good result, clean enough, and we're gonna go out the house now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little comparison. Check out both razors. I'll put links to the web pages as well so you can see their whole product lineup and their color choices and all that stuff. And, you know, if you're new to wet shaving, safety razors and all that stuff, welcome to the hobby. It is a rabbit hole. There's the rabbit hole over there. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.